Good day and welcome to another episode of your Money Moment with me, your host, Mauritz Oberholzer. Today I'll be discussing the most underrated tool in wealth building, and that is a budget. I so often see people who say they do a budget, but when we go through that so-called budget, it's actually a bank statement looking back at what they spent, and they sit with their hands in their hair wondering where all their money went that month. A budget is done at the beginning of the month, and it is a roadmap which allocates each rand with a destination. Once each rand has reached its destination and everything is paid, you are free to spend the remaining money as you see fit without worrying about spending more than you earn and not making ends meet. So let's begin with the basics of a budget. Firstly, you need to know what you earn and also what your partner earns. Secondly, you need to write down the fixed expenses each month. They are the things that you know about, and they are fixed amounts you know that will go off each month. Thirdly, you will have a variable expense amount. They are the things that fluctuate throughout the months, like a cell phone bill, your petrol, and entertainment. The variable expense tab, you have to write an amount for each variable and stick to that amount for the month. So for, let's say, cell phone, if you allocate 2,000 Rand for that, for the month, you have to try and stick with that for the month. If throughout the month you see you're spending more on your cell phone, you're going to have to start cutting back, stop buying extra data, get off your phone, don't spend anymore, don't watch more videos on your phone. And if you do go over, you're going to have to cut back on something else. So that might be entertainment. So now we're saying, okay, I'm cutting back on entertainment. I'm not going to go out as much because I overspent on my cell phone bill. Or cut back on takeaways or eating out. The big thing with a budget is to have everything written down and then sticking to it, and not looking at the end of the month at a bank statement being shocked at how you overspent. The budget is a freedom tool and not a restrictive tool. So lastly, I just want to work on some rule of thumbs that you can use to make sure that you're not overspending, or it'll give you an indication if you are overspending. So firstly, don't spend more than 25% of your take-home pay on housing. So if you are taking home 35,000 Rand per month, do not spend more than 8,750 on housing. Secondly, don't spend more than 12% on cars. This is an area where I see so many people spending way too much, and this then hampers their wealth building journey. A car is not an asset, it's an expense. It loses value from the first moment you switch on the ignition. Keep your spending on food between 10 to 15% of your take-home pay. Recreation, I recommend 5 to 10% of take-home pay. And then on retirement, 15% as a minimum of pre-tax investment each month. So make sure it's pre-tax. So before you get taxed, 15% of that should be going to your retirement. And that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Catch me next week, same time, same place. Happy budgeting.
When you're navigating through life's big events, like buying a home, starting a family, or approaching retirement, you need sound and impartial financial advice. Mauritz Oberholzer, a financial advisor at Stonehouse Capital, specializes in personal financial planning. Visit mauritzoberholzer.co.za or call 082-774-1996. For practical and easy-to-understand advice and tips, don't miss your Money Moment with Mauritz Oberholzer, Thursday mornings at 10 on E-Radio.